everyone, and welcome back to Bear's Reading Nook. I'm Kara, and today we're gonna be just watching me put together my bookshelves. So obviously the first thing I did was make sure that the shelves were cleaned out, and just basically dusted them. Now these shelves I actually got from my grandma when she was moving house and was getting rid of a lot of things, and I'm so glad that I was able to get these bookshelves because I absolutely love them and they're fantastic. So now that they're unwrapped, I just put them on the shelves. The shelves already had the like little shelf things on there to hold them, so I just put them right back where they go. So once that's done, I just go and dust those shelves again just to make sure that they're clean because, well, they had stuff at the other house. I don't think I'd cleaned them well in a bit. At this point I realized that I actually wanted the bookshelves further to the left, and so I was working on moving them. It was actually way harder to do, more so because of the carpet than like the bookshelves being heavy. But yeah, I moved them over a bit. At this point I realized that I wanted them as like close to the wall as I could get, so I turned off the light, I unplugged it, and what I ended up doing is getting like a power strip and just plugging it into there at a different outlet. So I'm just gonna skip ahead and we'll have light in the room. Now I have to sort all the books, and basically what I'm trying to do is sort them, I believe, by like genre and then by author's last name as well. I have a lot of books and I didn't realize how many I had until I was working on this. And basically all the books are kind of stacked in somewhat like, they're stacked in various piles that I think were, for the most part at least, in the like genre. Together they were not necessarily stacked together with the author's name, so I do have to sort a little bit of that. It was honestly kind of relaxing just sorting through the books and making sure that they're in the order that I wanted. Okay, and now that we have all the books stacked up, it's time to put them on the shelves. I know that the angle isn't gonna be the best and it's probably gonna cut off. I believe at some point I do fix it, so I'm sorry. I've never done one of these before. So I started off by putting the manga up on the top shelf, and then I realized that I didn't really like it, and so I ended up switching it to one shelf lower. I had just enough manga to actually fill the shelves, and like I mentioned earlier, this is in alphabetical order by author's last name. But I really had fun doing the shelves. Now I'm doing the top shelf, which is kind of a mix of a bunch of different things. The books are like classics, poetry, and a little bit of nonfiction. I don't read a whole bunch of that. There's also a couple of mysteries as well. I don't read a whole lot of like that kind of stuff, so it's there. Okay, so now I switched the angle so that I could do the fantasy stuff. I had a lot more fantasy books than I thought. Also there is, I think, a couple of like sci-fi type books in there. So what you're seeing currently is me trying to make space for the first two books in that series because I loaned them out to my mom. But as you will see, things changed. Also, there's husband again. I think at this point I have the entire Witcher series. I may be missing like one book But yeah, I have like all of them and I haven't read them yet. I think my husband has read them, but through audiobooks. So I would like to get to those soon, but that's what that big chunk of read is. I was also toying around with where I wanted to put the graphic novels because obviously they wouldn't fit on the manga shelf since it's full. And as you'll see in a bit, I ended up giving them their own shelf because I either found more books that needed to be put away or somehow didn't have space to keep them where I had them originally. So this is just another view of the top shelf. I did change some things around. The art print in like on the left side is one that I want to hang up, but it's a weird sizing, so I may have to get like a special frame for it. The lantern was a decoration used from my wedding, and like I said, basically all those books are the same. So I did end up deciding to have the 2 mystery books on top of the other books because they didn't look great when I had them under the lantern, and I just feel like this works better. Onto the manga shelf. As you can see, they no longer fit on one shelf. I may or may not have bought Konosuba volume 1 of the manga recently, and that's what's sitting on top, but that is one that I've wanted to read for a bit and the library doesn't have it, and I found it in the store, so I wanted to make sure that I bought it because it was really cheap. So next is the first shelf of fantasy, which does have some sci-fi. Basically all that's changed is some books that I wasn't sure about or that I found after filming the video, I basically just put in there where they would go. So Me, My Dad, and the End of the Rainbow was one that I wasn't sure about. That one is in there. I believe Marked and The Midnight Queen were ones that I found. I think also The Accidental Year is another one that I found, so that is why there's no room currently for the other 2 books in the Dream Defenders series. This shelf has a couple different series, one being the Fair Isle trilogy and the other one obviously being The Witcher, and finally the graphic novels. Now, this is definitely a weird angle, but that was because Skyward is kind of hiding behind the wood piece in the front, and so I just wanted to make sure that that was able to be seen. But yeah, there's definitely a few books that aren't actually mine, so this section will definitely be less after I've read those books that are my friends'. But I really like how this turned out, and there's obviously room to grow because I only filled up like basically 1 bookshelf. I still have way more room to add books if I want, but I do want to try and read some of the books that I already have first. So that's all for this video, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye!